everybody. Welcome back to At Home with the Woots. I'm here today to discuss some new curriculum choices that we're making for the 2025-2026 school year. This school year, I will have an 8th grader and a 5th grader. So it's our last year of middle school for our oldest and our last year of elementary school for our youngest, which is a really big year for us. So I wanted to make sure that I intentionally planned the year to prepare them for the next steps, middle school for my youngest and high school for my oldest. So I am trying some new things this year and sticking with some really solid choices that we've used before and absolutely loved. So I'm really excited to share with you guys what we picked this year. These videos, I'm going to release 2, one for the middle school curriculum and one for the elementary school curriculum, just because I think it's a lot and I think it's easier if I separate them. I'm going to keep the same intro for both videos, so if you watch one, you can just skip through until you start to see the materials and the books that you want to look at. I did also put out a short in regards to both curriculum choices for the kids this year. And so those are just like a real quick and dirty run through of what we're using this year. It didn't include everything just because some of the materials that I am using I hadn't received quite yet or hadn't started yet. So it didn't really encompass everything, whereas I give a more in-depth and thorough overview in these longer videos. At some point, I'm also going to put out a video about how we schedule our homeschool days, our homeschool year, what planner I'm using this year, and a couple other things like that. So I will probably put something like that out. But I have had a couple people reach out to me and ask for some in-depth looks at our curriculum. So I wanted to get that out there for everybody. So if you're interested, come on in, join us. This is going to be a real in-depth overview over what curriculum I'm using for which subject, if I'm using it for high school credit or not. And I'm going to go through all the things, electives, core classes, all that good stuff. And I'll even do a flip through of some of the books. So you'll get to see what the materials look like and all that. So you'll get a really good in-depth overview. If you have questions, always please just drop them below in a comment. I love to chat about this. So I am open to any questions and helping or supporting any homeschool families in any way that I can. So if you have questions, just let me know, or comments. If you're like, oh, we tried that, didn't like it, or it didn't work because of this, what do you think? I'd love to have a discussion. So I look forward to sharing with you what we're using this year, and stay tuned for more. Bye.
Okay, so for math for 5th grade, we are just sticking with Saxon. We love it. I can't say enough good things about it. These books are different than what we're using for my oldest, the pre-algebra book. The pre-algebra book, I believe, doesn't have Hake and Saxon. It's just Saxon. So these books are Hake and Saxon, and there are people with opinions on that. I will let you know when we complete pre-algebra, but so far this is what we know, this is what we've been doing, and the boys really have excelled with this. Again, the material is dry, so wow, there's color in this one. So the lessons look like this. So they'll go over the lesson. They do watch a video. We use Nicole, the math lady. She's fantastic. They go over the lesson. They have a lesson practice set, and then they have a problem set. They do have access online to do all of their math problems online. So all of their work is done online, and she teaches all of the math. So math is a really independent thing in this house. When the kids have questions, I usually make them use the lesson links. So in the website, when they're doing their math problems, if they can't get the answer or they get it wrong after trying, there's a box and they click it and it says lesson links, and it links you to the lesson where she taught that problem, that math. So you can go back, and so I'll go back and like learn it essentially with them in that case. But it's the exact same setup where every 5 lessons there's a test, and then they also have investigations to like dig further. All of the tests are in this tests and worksheets book. So I believe the tests, where are they? These are just like practice sheets. So these are also kind of nice because if they're struggling with something, you can give them a practice sheet here, and then all the tests are here. So the tests only have about 20 to 30 problems, and they just complete them. And again, my kids complete them online. So, but they also do these for practice. My kids do. So that is what we are using for math this year. Saxon Math, and Nicole the math lady, she's wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna go into spelling next. So this year, Grant is doing level 3 for All About Spelling, which is about 3rd grade. He is going into 5th grade. Spelling is just challenging for him. So this is where we're at, and this is where we are moving to. So if you've never done All About Spelling before, it is the Orton-Gillingham method. So it's really good for kids that struggle with like dyslexia, things like that. And when you open up the teacher book, this is the teacher book. It tells you what you need to prepare for the lesson, which looks really daunting, but I'm going to tell you it's actually really, really simple once you get into it. And then it tells you need to review this, and then you have to build the word. We have the app on a tablet where they can build the words, and then they'll complete assignments, and we'll go through. I basically just read them this. I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I like to say that this kind of curriculum is dummy proof, because like I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm the dummy, right? I don't know how to teach this. I didn't go to school for education, and I'm homeschooling my kids and doing the best that I can, and I'm so thankful for curriculum like this that makes teaching them easy but also is effective. And I've noticed so much progress for Grant. So they have you do like little assignments like this. He has dictation sentences, and then when he's completed the assignment, he marks a little sticker in the chart. This is spelling. We typically cruise through spelling really, really fast because he's just honestly doing so well with this specific curriculum. Just as like a little pro tip, this is our binder from last year. If you use this curriculum, I would suggest making a little spelling binder just like this. I went ahead and laminated the graph so that every time he did a lesson, he could just put it on the laminated chart. You don't need to do that. And then I like these page covers. You can see this has been well loved. But I use the page covers for all the rules that they learn. So they teach the kids a lot of rules. And then I at the beginning of the school year, actually, will pull all of the rules out and put them in page covers for us to visit throughout the year. So all the rules are here. I don't have to go searching for them anywhere. They're ready for me to access in a binder. And then all his assignments are in this book. So you have the assignment book, which I don't know if I even got, oh, it's right here. So you have to pull assignments out of this book constantly. So you're like pulling assignments out and activities out. There's spelling words on here. And it's like, what do you do with them? Well, I just kind of put them together here. You can see that we kind of got lazy towards the end of the year where he wasn't cutting things out. He was just writing the spelling words down, which whatever, I'm fine with that. At the beginning of the year, he was cutting them out. And so I was just like stapling them to this paper and then having him, you know, put all of the assignments in this book. In the book, I also put in the back some extra pages so that he could do his dictation. So all of this is all his dictation that he did throughout the year. So I have all his dictation pages and then all his activity pages as well, all contained in one nice binder. So my next year's isn't, the binder's not made yet, but this is a completed binder from 1 year. So I would highly recommend doing something like this for spelling. we are going to go into reading. You're going to notice that this is really language arts heavy. So we do a lot of language arts here because it's, one, I think really important, but two, for Grant, that's where he needs a little extra help. So we also do all about reading. So he is not on the same level with reading as he is on spelling. So he's level 3 with spelling and level 4 with reading. Very similar setup in terms of the lessons. This is what you need to be prepared for the lesson. This is how you need to complete the lesson. All this, there's an activity, and then there's an assignment at the end. You also have these types of assignments. So like this lesson has read heirloom antics. So then they have the books in here. So these are a collection of short stories for the kids to read, and they read the story to you or to themselves, and then you discuss it and answer questions. So this is the all about reading. I really, really love this. Again, I think it has improved Grant's reading skills so much. Can't say enough about good things about it. I also do a binder for reading, just like I did for the all about spelling. On top of that reading, Grant is also doing these. These are like literature studies. So this is the language arts curriculum for Moving Beyond the Page. I use their language arts curriculum solely as a literature or novel study curriculum. It is meant to be an all-encompassing language arts curriculum. So there are a ton of activities in here. I love this curriculum. This is secular. So this Moving on the Page and all about reading and all about spelling are secular curriculums. The Moving Beyond the Page is great. So he is going to do all of these this year. So it looks really intimidating, but really this will take him less than a month to complete this. So what he does is he opens it up. We go to lesson 1. I talk to him. Today, these are the questions we're going to explore. I go over the questions. These are the facts and definitions. This is about Helen Keller, so we're going to talk about a deaf person, a blind person, what a biography is. This is an introduction about what we're going to be doing. And then we have a little biography, like a little paragraph about what you're going to be reading in your first chapter. Then he's going to read chapter 1, and then he'll answer the questions about chapter 1. So they have questions about chapter 1 here. And then there's activity options. You have activity 1, and then activity 2, and activity 3. For me, I'll probably pick something like this, like a biography and autobiography. I probably won't do the timeline, to be perfectly honest with you. It feels like that's a lot of work for him, and because we do so much else, I don't think that he needs it. If anything, I'll probably just do this little activity for him. Circle the nonfiction books in blue, circle the fiction books in red, color the covers of the books that are biographies or autobiographies. That's a good day. He read a chapter, he answered 4 questions about the chapter, and learned about the difference between fiction and nonfiction books. That's one day. The next day he reads another chapter. So basically every lesson is a chapter. Some lessons take 2 days, most are 1 day, and they go over a bunch of different books. So we're using the ages 7 to 9 because that's really where his reading level is at. And so this is what we are doing. So he has like, who was Helen Keller, reading Morning Girl, American Heroes, which is this book, which is really cool because it's just a different book, you know, than what you've like seen before. So it's not necessarily a who was book, but definitely goes into some American heroes and things like that. So pretty neat. I like that. I'm excited about that. He's also going to do Charlotte's Web. He's going to do Iggy's House by Judy Blume. So he's got a ton. Morning Girl, American Heroes, Poppy, Charlotte's Web, One Day in a Tropical Rainforest, The Family Under the Bridge, The Whipping Boy, Iggy's House, And, oh, that's not what we're doing with this one. Yeah, communities and culture, but we're not doing that one. But that's a lot of books for him to read this year. This is not all of the books. I just grabbed a couple just to show you. So the reading curriculum is pretty heavy with reading, the book for All About Reading and all the books for Moving Beyond the Page. But I think it's a well-rounded curriculum that will help him to overcome the challenges of reading that he faces. Okay. For writing for Grant, we are doing IEW. He's in year 2, level A. And IEW, we do the structure and style course. I haven't opened any of this yet, so I'm just not ready yet. But IEW is great. If you haven't used it, I would, recommend it. We like to do the online classes with Andrew Pudawa. And then it comes with like this cute little binder, and everything is like set up for you. So there's not a lot to do. Just open up the binder, and then you just literally just pop this right in there. And then it has a teacher's manual. So it kind of goes over what you're doing every week for the kids. So every week the children have an assignment. So they have a writing assignment. So the subject for Unit 1 or Unit 1, Lesson 1 is pizza, chili, and French fries. So it's a structure and style. They're going to do an outline, and I think that's it. They're just outlining that week. It doesn't seem like they have to do an essay. Nope, it's just writing an outline. So structure and style is really all about the structure of writing, how to structure writing well, how to make outlines, and then write well from those outlines. So how they do that is they have the kids, read these little essays, and then they have to make an outline. Once they make the outline, I grade the outline, and then they have to retell me what they learned based on the outline. So I like to have them, it's basically like public speaking. They need to just use their outline and give me a speech about what they learned using their outline. And on here, it tells you all the notes that were on the board by Mr. Pudawa. So if you don't get the online course, you can use and teach structure and style directly from this manual. We just like to use Mr. Pudawa because my kids like his jokes, and he's just a hit for the whole fam. So this is the structure and style that Grant is going to use this year. I'm also working through this book, The Writing Revolution 2.0. Just is basically going through writing and the problem in writing today, and how teachers are going through, and really honestly kind of like this, they're really focusing on the structure and the style of writing so that writing is done well. And so we're really breaking it down to like different sentence types. This is something that he's using from the Writing Revolution that I found on Teacher Pay Teacher. So we're going through the different types of sentences. And then we are defining what type of sentence, and then we are going to write examples of the different types of sentences for a couple of days. And then at the end, there's like a little quiz where I want him to write a declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory sentence on his own without using his notes. So that is kind of what we are working on through the Writing Revolution, just really breaking it down into the sentence level. So that is for writing. Okay, for science for Grant this year, we are doing Apologia because I love it so much for Everett that I actually started this in the middle of the year last year. And so I actually started it in the spring, so we're not that far through it, but I really, really liked it. So this is Earth Science Junior by Apologia, and the way that it's set up is that there are only 2 lessons a week for science. We're doing 3 to 4 lessons a week for science in this book, just because that is really the pace of schoolwork that he's at, and so that's kind of what we're doing. He does not read the textbook on his own. I have to read it to him, and then he completes the notebook journal pages. what's in the notebook journal page. So he'll have to read, like, this is a lot of reading that day. That's like 5 pages of reading. And it's a big textbook. I didn't get the textbook out because it's just a standard textbook. But then he'll have to do an assignment. So for this assignment, for example, he had to write what an archipelago is, what deltas are, what volcanic islands are, what an atoll is, and what man-made islands are. And then he made this little cute pocket, and then he puts his, definitions in there. So, and then he did a stalagmite, stalactite, he glued that in. I don't know if you can see it. And then what do you remember? He has to write his answers. So we haven't done the hydrosphere yet, but he does like to type a lot. So he does some typing. See, I modify a lot of stuff for him. So this assignment, he was supposed to label the continents. So he just did like North America, South America, Antarctica, Australia over here, Africa, Europe, Asia. So he just did that instead of writing all this out. We did not do this tectonic plate activity, but we did talk about this assignment, and we talked about, what happens when 2 tectonic plates move together, how mountains are formed, things like that. These were really cool. They were like little books, mini books that he made, but he wanted to keep them, so he kept them on his desk. And then we talk about the activities. I do a lot of dictating for him because he does so much language arts that I don't have him do a lot of this writing because he really gets overwhelmed with that. And then we did together a crossword puzzle. Again, he answered the what do you remember questions. So he's done a lot. We went through the core, geosphere, hydrosphere. He labeled all the definitions. This is a really great curriculum. I really love this curriculum. We will likely finish this before Thanksgiving, maybe before Halloween. And so I also purchased for him the anatomy curriculum. So we'll be doing the earth science and the anatomy and physiology junior curriculum for Grant next year for science. Now we're going to talk about social studies for 5th grade. So I'm using Moving Beyond the Page because, yes, I really love their literature studies. Typically, you're supposed to use their language arts and their social studies at the same age group because they play off of each other. I'm not doing that because I think that he can handle a more rigorous curriculum in terms of social studies. So we're going to do the age 10-12 social studies. I think I have this in order. I do not have this in any sort of good order. So it's completely out of order. Let me get it in order and then we'll go over it. Okay, so I just put it in order. And I'm starting with the ages 9 to 11 curriculum, and then we'll move to 10 to 12 curriculum. So how this works is every book has a certain amount of lessons, and then the lessons tell you how many days. So there's only 6 lessons with a final project. There's 3 days, 2 days, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 days to complete this book. So that's only that's only 2 weeks of work because my kids don't do a lot of the final projects. So this really would only take about 2 weeks for us to get through this whole book on immigration. So these books, when you purchase them, you can also purchase all the books that go along with them, and that's what I have because I was able to get it through the kids' scholarship for homeschool. So I have all of the materials in terms of reading. So If Your Name Was Changed at Ellis Island is one of the books, and then Immigrant Kids by Russell Friedman. So the kids will read what the assigned reading is, and then they complete their activities. So we usually go through most of the activities that we've done. And then they have like a life application, things like that. This has like 8 whole activities, which is why it's divvied up into 3 days. So they want the kids to be able to complete all of these activities in 3 days. So what do you do for the activities? Is it just a free-for-all? No, they give you full instructions. But then if there's something that the kids should be doing, like this is charting immigration. This is an awesome assignment for the kids to do a bar chart. How great is that? And they can fill it out with the population numbers for the different, not population numbers, the immigrants from different countries coming in. So, and they give you multiple ways to complete the assignment. They have what will you take? This is a suitcase. They describe what they would bring to America if they were coming. A whole assignment on writing a poem in honor of the Statue of Liberty. A debate, so they'll have what they think, and then an argument to support the argument, and then go on, so on and so forth. And then you'll move on to lesson 2. So they will be going over immigration, colonization and revolution. I say they, but this is just being westward expansion, state government and economics, slavery and the Civil War, World Wars I and II. Civil rights, North and South America, the Incas, Aztecs, and Mayas. So we're gonna just really broad what we're going over, but I think that it'll be good. I really love this curriculum. I think it's so great. It is a secular curriculum, and I can't say enough good things about it. I really fell in love with this curriculum this year. So I love it, and that's what we're doing for social studies this year.
Thanks so much for joining me today to go over some curriculum and nerd out on curriculum content and books with me. I so appreciate you guys being here. And again, I welcome any conversation about any of the books or any of the curriculum we've used in the past or that we're using this year. I wish you all the best for this upcoming homeschool year. I know we're super excited to get started. Okay, I'm super excited to get started. We actually already started, and it's going well so far. The kids are, wishing they had a summer break, but we do school year round, so then they have nice long breaks other times when other kids are in school. So, the joys of making all the choices for the kids in the schooling. So we're having fun with it, and we hope that you guys do too with your homeschool year. I wish you nothing but the best, and thanks for joining. I will be back soon. Thanks. Bye.